Hi everyone, welcome to School of Scarlet. I'm so happy to have you here today. So today we're in my bedroom again, so we're going to have another bedtime or bedside chat. I used to do these in the beginning when I started my channel, and I kind of want to bring that back. It's just a more casual kind of conversation with you. So today I want to talk about the stages of the woman again. So basically I made a video a little bit back, maybe a couple videos before this one, about the woman. And so the woman has various stages. She has cycles in her life. There's things that change throughout her life. And so this is very defined in, things like her being the daughter, and then being the wife, and then the mother, and then the widow. So she has very defined stages of life that allow for different things and reveal different things to her that maybe a male or masculine figure may not have. So I've kind of went through my own life sharing that in the unfolding of the woman. That's a video I made, and I'll link that down below in the comments if you're interested in watching that one, because this one complements that one. And the reason that this video is totally separate is because I believe that it deserves its own video. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about to hell with it. So there is a stage of womanhood that most women do come across. There might be some that don't. But for the most part, most women come across the stage to hell with it. And this stage for me happened right after my first divorce. And so right around that time of divorce, that's when that insight came through of to hell with it. So I'll kind of explain to you. A lot of the woman's journey is holding it all in, keeping it all together, keeping the family together, keeping the marriage together, keeping the children together, keeping her family, let's say her extended family, together, keeping maybe even the husband's family together, taking care of people at work. Taking care of people is a theme that runs throughout the feminine figures. And so because of that, she does a lot of containing herself. So even though it is a masculine trait to contain, she does a lot of this for others in caring. It's a bit of the feminine and the masculine being expressed, which is very natural, but she does a lot of this. And so she's doing it a lot of times for others, because at the beginning stages of womanhood, it's very natural for her to want to give. She has an abundance of love. She has an overflow to give. So like I mentioned, during my stage of motherhood, I had no problem giving all of my time and energy to my daughter. That came very natural to me. It wasn't hard for me to do, because at that time, my overflow, how much I love her and what I want for her, was just so much more that I had that overflow to give to her. So that sort of thing will happen, but there will come a time where the woman will become depleted. She'll begin to notice that her efforts are not paying back in any kind of dividend for her. And so because of this, she'll have an experience of really reflecting on what she gives to others and really looking for that balance in giving and receiving. So it'll be her first insight that it's not always a good thing to always give to others. It can deplete oneself. And so this is an insight that sometimes doesn't come till too late. For me, it really came at the time of my divorce and at the time of a health issue. So it really took a very big shakeup to really help me to reflect on this, because I had no problem really giving all of my time and energy to people at work, to people at home. It was not a problem for me to do that. And so I did that. And so I think this stage for women is kind of this self-aware stage, this self-aware where we're just in this hyper-vigilant stage of being super mom, of being the super employee, of being the super wife, of being the super daughter. So it's always being, fitting into this mold, but overachieving, like always trying to do more. And I can really think back on my life, and I can really see where I had done this. And this kind of behavior leads to the whole to hell with it, because the thing is, the woman does so much in containing and keeping everything so orderly and perfect that at some point it just all breaks, the dam breaks. So you could have looked at my life prior to my divorce as it was very, very orderly, very, very perfect, you could even have said. And so you could have walked in my home, opened a closet, everything was perfect and labeled, and everything was just right. Every holiday was perfect. Every family picture was perfect. Every day was just planned out perfect. The meals were perfect. Everything was perfect. And you see, it wasn't just at home. It was also at work. Everything at work was perfect. I was the super employee. I was the one getting the awards. I was the one getting all of the extra work. And so sometimes one time I even asked my boss, why is it that I always, get promoted? Why doesn't know anybody else? And she said, because you're the one that always does all the work. You're the only one that volunteers to do this stuff. None of the other people do it. So it's simply that. In this hyper aware, hyper active stage, it's a lot about being and doing the best. And so I went through this stage, and I'm not saying every woman does, but it is basically a stage that can be very defined. And so I also spent a lot of time really thinking that I was creating the perfect marriage, the perfect home. But you see, this was a very controlled environment. If we really look at what's happening here, I was controlling everything in the home. I was controlling all the meals. I was controlling what everybody was wearing, where everybody was going on vacations, family pictures, what we were doing on weekends. Everything was controlled by me, hyper controlled by me. And at work, I even began to control things there because of the way that I would create certain plans. At the time, I was working with children, and we would create certain plans and things. We would go out in the community and do certain things. And so then I became the one that had the plans and the ways of doing it. And so now I began to manage all of that. And so more people would come. And so I would be having to take on more people and hold in more for more people and myself. So basically, this stage is very depleting for the woman, because you see, the woman needs to receive. It's very natural for the feminine to need to replenish herself, to receive. That's why the masculine usually always gives, because it's very natural for the feminine to receive it. But when the feminine is in this stage of self-aware, really hyper vigilance on everything, helicopter parent, all of that stuff, she really gets depleted. And you can see this in her appearance. A lot of times she'll start to look more manly. A lot of times she'll start to not take care of her appearance, or she'll change. And I can even show you pictures of those times. So there's a definite shift there. And at some point, the woman can get so burned out that she begins to look back and reflect. Like I say, it's a reflection that happens within. She'll become so tired that maybe she'll take a day or two off to rest or sleep. And in those 1 or 2 days, a miraculous thing happens, self-reflection. And so she reflects on everything that's been happening. She reflects on how she's been doing everything for her child, going above and beyond, but yet they're still, being disrespectful or not taking any of the advice, and how she's doing everything for her husband, but yet he's also not doing any of the things she's asked him, and how at work she's the only one working and everybody else is just kind of slacking. And then how, whatever it happens to be, no one cooks or cleans at home, I don't know, whatever. So the list goes on and on for her self-reflection. And she realizes that she is the only one that is really doing all of this. And she's the only one that's controlling all of this. But what is happening? She's not allowing for anything else. So it's almost like a video that I just made recently, the one prior to this, that says, why aren't you allowing freedom? Because this kind of self-awareness creates an energy that's very much like that gift giver that gives a gift that's either more for themselves and they're projecting a gift to someone else. I maybe didn't even really talk about that, but let me go ahead and share it here. Let's talk about people that give gifts to other people, but the gift is really meant for themselves. Do you know these people, right? I've even been like this. When I was little, when it was someone's birthday, we would go shopping for birthday gifts for the person that was having the birthday, and I would always want to pick out something I wanted for myself. And a lot of the times my parents would allow me to have that gift as well. So I would get to have that one and then give another one to someone else. I don't know, that was kind of strange, but anyhow, that was something that I was doing. Of course, that's not the right way to do it. We should really think about what the other person wants, or hopefully allow them the freedom to choose their own gift, which I'll get to. But this kind of scenario that I was in, being very hyper aware, planning everything for everyone, telling everybody what to do list, all this stuff, calendars, endless amounts of control. This is like a gift giver that is really just giving a gift that's for themselves. They're not thinking about the other person's needs, wants, or desires at all. They're really not thinking or caring about what that child or other parent or spouse wants, or the co-workers wants. They're wanting to control this situation. It's actually a way that they're doing, whether they're doing consciously or unconsciously, to gain their control, to have control over others, to control the situation. But you see, this backfires because there is no control of others. All that is happening here, it's you. There's no others, it's just you. So anytime you're fighting or you're thinking that you're controlling or doing something to others in some way, you have to realize you're actually doing that to you. So in controlling others, you're actually controlling yourself, and you're keeping yourself in this confined cage. So in this reflection, naturally for the woman, she doesn't have to realize everything I just said about that gift giver. You know, ultimately, if you watch that other video that I shared, I mentioned the type of gift giver that gives you the experience, takes you to a store, or maybe possibly gives you money. And that feeling of freedom that you feel to choose your own gift of what you want. And we all have that ability. We all have that gift here and now, just to let you know. But these energies feel differently depending on how we are expressing our being here, okay? So in this way of being, the hyper-aware stage, it really flip-flops at some point. The woman naturally goes into the self-reflection where she says to hell with it. And for me, it happened at a divorce, so it was very easy to do that, because I realized, you know, I was working so hard, killing myself, not being able to sleep at night, doing all kinds of stuff to maintain this perfect and beautiful home, maintain this beautiful child, and do all of these things to go above and beyond, you know, trying to have the best of everything. And in doing that, no one appreciated that. That didn't get me anywhere. That actually pushed away the people that I loved. And it didn't really help anything. Yes, it was a perfect home, but nobody was happy in it. So this is the thing about it. When we control something, or we try to give somebody a gift that's really meant for us, it's not meant for them, and then we try to force them to like it, they're not gonna digest that well. They're not gonna like that. And that energy is going to be felt. It doesn't matter how clean your home is. It doesn't matter how beautiful the furniture or the outside of your home is, or how beautiful the children are dressed. None of that's gonna matter. That energy will be felt. And in time, that structure will crumble, because that is a false, or just, it's not a solid foundation. It's just not a solid foundation, as they would say. When you build anything on fear, which eventually, if we break down that whole mentality that I was in, essentially it's a feeling of fear, okay? It's a feeling of comparison. Many different things had gone into creating that kind of behavior. And many people have that kind of behavior, and it's built in different ways for each person. We're all just a different ingredient mixing with everything here in life, creating a certain kind of flavor. So we're all creating something different, but essentially we're all having the same human experience that we're all going to relate to what I'm talking about here. So at some point, whether you're a female or not, you say to hell with it. And you just throw in the towel and you say, this is not working. You know, I can give my children advice all day long, but at the end of the day, they're going to do what they want to do. I can, you know, tell my husband a million times to do this or that, but at the end of the day, he is who he is, and he's going to do what he wants to do. So we realize that people have their own free will, and we cannot infringe on that. And maybe we were doing that subconsciously or maybe consciously, but we realize that we have no control over others, none. The only thing that we can do is reflect inward to ourselves. And actually, we find out the very strange secret that if we work on ourselves, if we look at ourselves and release some of those judgments, release some of that control for ourselves, then it releases for everyone else as well, and that energy begins to shift and change. And before you know it, You have all of a sudden created exactly what you wanted, but you didn't have to work at it. You didn't have to force it. You didn't have to effort it. And you didn't have to resent it at the end of the day because it was so easy. It was so natural because you followed your heart, because you switched from fear to love. So this stage of to hell with it is a very beautiful stage for a woman. And sometimes, you know, it may not be that she stays with her husband. It may not be that she continues on with that stressful life or whatever that was to hell with it that happened. But this stage of a woman, you can see her being reborn. A woman has stages of being reborn many times in life. She basically crumbles and is reborn in a lot of ways, in a lot of ways. And she oscillates from that, basically, like I say, that aspect of herself that's very divided, that aspect of Eve, the mother, basically the more righteous one, and or Lilith, the darker one, the more sensual one, the more provocative one, the more straightforward one, the more go-getter, the different energies, the more independent one. So she oscillates from these two. And she really is all. And at some point she merges them both and she lives from that state and she's able to work with both energies. And she's not swayed by anything. And at this point, that really is that stage of she's mastered the stage of to hell with it. Everything really is whatever it is that she wants. And it's not in a selfish way. It's not in a egotistical way. It's not in a narcissistic way. It's in a way that honors her heart. It's in a way that honors who she is, honors her authentic self. So don't misunderstand me. A lot of people watch these videos about feminine energy and believe that women are trying to overpower men or overpower the world. No, 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 no. This is a lot more subtle than that. And this is all about oneself. So as soon as you become fearful and think that this is about this or that, or there's something outside of yourself like some force or demon or energy or devil, you know, you've lost it. We're right here. Stay with us. Right here in this moment is everything. We have to work on this moment. We don't have to go anywhere outside of it. There is nothing outside of it. It's just right here and now. And when we can anchor in, pull ourselves back into this moment, even just for a little bit, all of a sudden, all that chaos out there settles down. It's as simple as that. So if you want to know how to get into your heart, how to live from the heart, I do offer the unconditional course. So if you're interested in that, you can look in the description or in the comment section. I would love to have you be part of the course. I would love to help you along that journey. And I also offer one-on-one sessions, okay, for many things. I've been a counselor for over 18 years. So if you have anything, you can check that out. And if you would like to connect further, go ahead and connect further. Comment down below. Let me know what stage of womanhood that you are in. Are you wanting to see more videos around femininity or not? And just let me know. I know that a lot of the people that I have watching my videos a lot of times are more male. So let me know what you like to see down below. I'm sharing with you just this beautiful stage of to hell with it. And this stage is a stage that you'll begin to see a lot of life flourishing. I want you to think about these women. Observe women around you. If there's a woman that has said to hell with it, she may have not said it out loud, but you will notice that she has changed. All of a sudden, she has reemerged. Maybe she was a frumpy housewife and now suddenly she's working out at the gym, or she's gotten her hair done, or you know, she's gotten her nails done, or she's dressing nicer, or now all of a sudden she's joined a group, or now she's dancing, or now she's singing, or now she's out with friends. So you're going to see that she is changing. And if she's really to hell with it, she'll probably leave you behind because she can do this all by herself. So this stage is a beautiful stage, and it's not just for women. We all have the energy of feminine and masculine within us. So if one day you are, whether you're male or female, you get fed up, you get tired, and you look around and you see that you've been living for everyone else but you, and you say to hell with it, then that's the stage. And I hope that one day you get to that stage because it's a beautiful stage, and it's a stage that recurs for women quite a bit. But for men, it's here and there. It may be their midlife crisis. It may be a health scare. It may be something like this, but it is something to spark your interest again in life. So take it and go with it, because you see, the spark needs to be, we need to keep the spark alive. We need to keep the spark alive here on this earth. So let's keep it alive. And if you feel to hell with it, run with that. It's not a bad thing. All right, I hope you like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, share it with others, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. I love you all.